So, very excited for this. I mean, the main one that they focused on was Volcanicus. Obviously, with Slug and Rampage being announced, that means that they will get a 5-star version. So, going to be very interesting. So, obviously, we've got Ruination. He's coming out very soon and testing now. We've got a Mimic Supreme. And then, yeah, it looks like Volcanicus will be next. And they mentioned trying to get all the combiners sort of up to the same level as Ruination. And although I agree you know, in a way, because you want to have different combiners to be able to use them, makes them more viable for wars, so you're not using much ore. I think it's a good fix. Rather than giving people more ore, I think it's a good fix to make more combiners relevant. So, I think that's a good move from the apes, rather than increasing ore. I think that's a lazy way to do it. So they are at least putting the effort in. But my worry is that at the minute, with Ruination, the game is very easy. It's very overpowered. The new Water Dome cores, I've reviewed them. Go and check it out. But they're not the best. They're not true counters for him. There's no counters really for Ruination right now. No matter what anyone says to you, there's no counters for Ruination. The proof's there in that video. So, if you start bringing more combiners out that makes the game easier, have they got to then make the game harder? Is that going to really put people off because the game becomes very difficult? So how are they going to balance having lots of combiners that can take out half a base at very, very max? How are they going to balance that in the game? Are they going to really, really push defense and maybe put people off from playing the game that struggle? Because I think the biggest problem they had, the biggest thing they did, which was detrimental to the game, was leaving those upgrades for so long. Even the HQ 18.3 upgrade, even the HQ 17, 18 upgrade, I think it was like 18 months for that single upgrade. It made the game extremely easy for most people, and people got accustomed to playing at that level. And I don't really understand it in a way, and I wish they would have made the game harder, but moved rewards down. So I think if they moved Prime League wasn't very hard. If they made Prime League very hard, then made Cybertron to Prime League level, but they then gave Prime League rewards out in Cybertron and increased Prime League rewards, I think it would have softened the blow a bit of people having to move down to Cybertron, but they didn't do that. I think a lot of people got frustrated, and so they're very conscientious of upgrading defense to a point where it gets difficult for most players, and this makes it a lot easier, which is a bit of a worry. But we'll have to wait and see. As always, we'll review it as always, give my honest opinion as always, guys. But could be fun at the very least. I think into the Volcanicus, he also needs a lot of mobility, but I think the big one for him, he's got good range, he's got okay damage, and increasing damage at match Ruination, but I think the big one is survivability. He jumps in, does that fire damage, got some good fire damage. We've got anti-fire cold, which makes sense. All these things sort of make sense, even though the fireproof cores don't do much against him, really. But long story short, but I think the big one is survivability. So I imagine his 5-star ability will be some sort of like, dare I say it, a shield? Maybe, I don't know, something around that. But he's all about damage Volcanicus. I don't want to lose that either, but he does need some sort of survivability. But I had to wait and see. We've got Ruination coming out first. That's the priority. And then Volcanicus will be after that, probably later in the year. So a lot of combiner stuff coming out this year, which obviously people love. So I'm quite pleased with that. Yeah, looking forward to that.